Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to show varieties of snap pea. In this channel, this is where we turn your gardening dreams into reality. So today we are bringing you a special treat from the heart of Las Vegas, Zone 9B. We're not just planting one, we're planting two varieties of peas that actually matured at different times. The first one we're going to be planting is called the Oregon Sugar Pod 2, known for its sweet, crunchy, and quick maturity because it only takes about 68 days. The second one is the Sugar Daddy. This one takes slightly longer time, which is about 62 to 75. And the best part, both are perfectly suited for Las Vegas weather. We start first by amending the soil with our what I call my black gold, which is actually the compost that I homemade and use them to amend the soil. You can see how rich it has a lot of worms in it, which tells you that it is very rich. And the worms actually increase the nutrient contents in the soil. These composts were made during the summer months from the kitchen scraps and took about 3 weeks to complete. I used some of the homemade compost, added some blood meal together and used it to amend the raised bed that we're going to plant in. Also use warm casting, which also helps increase the nutrient content of the soil, considering that the soil had been planted on the last season. We amended the soil within the first 2 to 4 inches of the top soil to help the peas take off to a good start. It is very, very important that after growing in your raised bed the previous year that the soil are amended well, because whatever grew in the bed last year have used up all the nutrients in that soil. This is why amending your soil is very, very important for your new season. Here I'm clearing the debris and weeds in order to amend the soil. You can also see that I have the irrigation system, especially here in Las Vegas, so that watering will be so easy. I don't have to worry about that. I can just set it. Even if I forget to water, I'm not so worried about that. Here you can see how dark this soil looks. The darker the soil, the richer it is in nutrients. So after you have amended it, you will see that this soil looks really, really rich and dark. And if I were a seed, I would like to lie in these beds. If you would like to know how to make your own homemade compost, please subscribe and you will be notified when the video is available. All right, so after all the amendment has been done, we check to ensure that the irrigation system is working and then align them properly so that we can make the furrow right underneath the irrigation system. Here I remove my gloves to open the seed packet so that it makes it easier for me to sow the seeds. We start by making a furrow. You can make it with your hand or you can use tools. I prefer to use my hand to make the furrow. I made 4 of them. Furrows were made right underneath the irrigation line so that the water will be placed at exactly where you need them without having to waste water, especially here in Las Vegas, which is very dry. If you'd like to know how to install your own irrigation system in your raised bed, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and we'll notify you as soon as we upload new videos. After amending the soil, I'm making the furrows. Now it's time to sow the seeds. Let's go. We started off with the Sugar Daddy variety and we are sowing the seeds 1 inch depth, 2 inches apart, and we are sowing the Sugar Daddy in 2 rows. The rows are spaced also 2 inches apart. Then we would cover lightly with soil. Here we are also going to sow the Oregon Sugar Pod 2 the same way, the same spacing, which is 1 inch depth. We did 2 rows of each of the varieties, and then we also covered the soil lightly before mulching. The seeds that I'm showing right here is the Oregon Sugar Pod 2, which we're going to sow next. We also sow them 1 inch depth and 2 inches spacing. And we'll cover them lightly with the soil and then mulch over once it's done and water thereafter. To be honest with you, each year I have sown these seeds, it has been a struggle for them to make it to the table or into the house once they mature and produce. They are so sweet that it is so difficult to share them. You would not want to share this with anybody. I promise you. Try it and see. They can be eaten raw or cooked, especially in stir fries. All right, now that all our seeds are tucked in, remember that the Oregon sugar pod and the sugar daddy have slightly different maturity dates. It's important that we label them, keep a track on your seeds every time plant any seeds because it is so easy to forget what you planted where. So always keep that in mind. And then we'll finally mulch them with either straw or any organic matter. If you have any dead leaves around, you can actually use that to mulch them and then water them. Before I also water them, I actually put a trellis because these are climbing vines and they would need that to grow. It is important for us to actually have that. Now that all that is completed, so let's talk about how to care for these. The mulching with organic matters actually helps keep the soil moist, suppress weed, and regulate soil temperature. So consistent watering by using irrigation, very important because our peas like water, they don't like it waterlogged. So you have to be careful how much water you're releasing at a time, and using irrigation actually ensures even amount of water is being delivered to them. If you oversowed, you can always thin them out. Although if you grow them vertically, you really don't need to do that. Right, so the sowing the seeds. Now let's look at some of the basic things we need to understand. You heard me talk about Las Vegas being in zone 9B. What is zone 9B? You ask yourself, what does a zone mean? These are called hardiness zones, planting zones, or growing zones. They are geographical area defined by the average annual minimum winter temperature. These zones are outlined in the map created by the USDA. They serve as a guideline to help gardeners determine which plants are most suited and thrive in our climate. Las Vegas falls in zone 9, which means we enjoy mild winters, making snap peas a great choice for fall and spring planting. All right, let's try understanding frost dates. Frost dates are also crucial. These are the average dates when we expect the last frost in spring and the first frost in the fall. This technically gives us our planting season, the number of days that we can plant. For Las Vegas, our last frost date is usually around March, late March, early March, and the first frost date is usually at the beginning of November. We do have a long growing season here in Las Vegas. This guides us on the best times to plant and avoid frost damage. As our pea grows, we want to provide support for trellis. So it is important that we place trellises over them, water them, and take care of them. We want to ensure that we have even watering for the peas. We are all done. Gardening is as much about the journey as it is about the yield. I will be documenting the progress of our peas here, so stick around for updates. And if you have any questions or your own tips, drop them in the comments below. Hit like if you have found this helpful. Before you go, hit the subscribe button, share, and we'll keep you updated. Thank you for watching.